If you've been wondering whether the Cricut Maker 4 is really worth the hype, this video is for you. I'm so excited because today I finally get to unbox the Cricut Maker 4, and not just any one, I got the Sage version, which is a Michaels exclusive. My wonderful husband surprised me with it as an early Mother's Day gift, and I can't wait to open it up. If you've been around my channel for a while, whether you found me back when it was called Cricketer or now as Kerri Crafts It, you know that I've been making Cricut videos since the world shut down back in 2020. I've shared tutorials on iron-on vinyl, adhesive vinyl, printable vinyl, you name it. I've walked you through all my favorite Cricut projects, including the ones that have been bestsellers in my shop. And now I'm so excited to share that I'm the author of Cricut for Dummies, my very first book. It's packed with beginner-friendly tips, project ideas, and step-by-step help to get the most out of your machine. You can pre-order it now for just $24.99 at Amazon, Target, Barnes & Noble, or wherever you like to buy books. Today, we're going to look at what's inside the box and what's new with the Cricut Maker 4. Then we're making a super cute Mother's Day sweatshirt for my best friend Erica, so you can see just how easy it is to customize shirts with Cricut. Let's get into it. So what exactly is the Cricut Maker 4? It's the latest smart cutting machine from Cricut, and it's part of their new 4 series lineup along with the Explore 4. It's not a total redesign from the Maker 3, but it's a nice upgrade, mainly because it's twice as fast. The Cricut Maker 4 is about twice as fast as the Cricut Maker 3, and compared to my original Maker, it's 4 times faster. I haven't done a side-by-side test yet, but I'm planning to, and I think it'll be really fun to see just how much faster it actually cuts. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see that in a future video. The Maker series also uses the adaptive tool system, which means you can use all kinds of tools like the knife blade and rotary blade to cut thicker materials like chipboard and fabric. It's also compatible with Cricut Smart Materials, which you can cut without a mat, great for big projects like wall decals or party banners. Cricut machines are super beginner friendly and easy to use. You do need to use Cricut Design Space. Most of the core features are free, but things like extra fonts, images, and special tools require a subscription called Cricut Access. This bundle comes with a free month of access, so you can test it out and see if it's worth it for you. And if you want to read more about whether Cricut Access is a good value, check out my full blog post about it. If you're just getting started with Cricut, this is a great machine to begin with. And if you're like me and a few models behind, you're definitely going to notice a difference. With the Cricut Maker 4, you can make pretty much anything. T-shirts and sweatshirts, custom mugs, vinyl decals for water bottles or windows, cards, labels, wall art, you name it, you can make it. It works with over 300 materials, so there's a ton of room to grow. I already have tutorials for most of these projects on my YouTube channel and in my book. If you're new to Cricut, this bundle gives you a strong start without having to buy a ton of extras. The only other things that I recommend picking up are a brayer tool, which is like a mini rolling pin for smoothing vinyl and paper, a standard grip and strong grip mat for thicker materials like glitter heat transfer vinyl, and a vinyl trimmer. The Cricut one is my favorite because of the swing out arm and super straight cuts. I'll leave links to all of my favorite tools and materials in the video description below. Getting set up is super simple. Just plug in your machine, turn it on, and open up Cricut Design Space. We're going to start off by going to design.cricut.com. Click on where it says Search Products, and then select your machine from the drop-down list. If you're using a phone, iPad, or Android, you can scan this QR code with your phone. If you're downloading this on a computer, you're going to go over here and click right here, agree to the Cricut terms of use, and download. Wait a few moments for the download to finish. If you don't see it, check in your downloads folder. So open up that file. Then Design Space will begin installing on your computer. This is what the home page of Cricut Design Space looks like. If you want to start a new project, you're going to go over here and click New Project. They now have options for vinyl decal, iron-on t-shirt, gift tags, and blank canvas. If you click on blank canvas, it brings you to the normal blank canvas that you're used to seeing. You can turn grid lines on and off by clicking this little square in between these intersecting rulers. Next, I'm going to walk you through the machine setup and first project. I got this pop-up asking me to set up my machine after I was finished designing my friend's sweatshirt and clicked make it. But I think it makes more sense to show you guys that whole process right now before getting into making her shirt. It's kind of weird that Design Space didn't prompt me to do that right away, but maybe it's because I already have an account with them. So I'll walk you through the quick machine setup and first project, and then I'll show you how to upload your design into Cricut Design Space, edit it, cut it, weed it, and heat press it with your brand new Cricut Maker 4. So click Setup. I'm setting up a cutting machine. Continue. The Cricut Maker 4. Continue. Make sure you have enough space, which I do. Next. Plug your Cricut in. I already did that. Continue. You can connect either via USB or Bluetooth. Let's try Bluetooth. And my Cricut is connected. Continue. Now I'm going to activate my machine. And I'm done. Next pops up a pop-up about Cricut Access. Cricut Access is Cricut's subscription where you can download their images, fonts, and projects. I personally don't use Cricut Access. I use Creative Fabrica instead. So I'm going to click No Thank You. Then it brings us to our first project. So let's test your machine. To make sure your machine is working perfectly, we'll cut this vinyl decal. To get started, click Continue. Grab the material from the envelope that came with your machine. Insert the sheet under the white guides until it reaches the gray rollers. If you look at your decal, you'll see an outline of where the machine cut out your design. Now we can weed it. So first I'm going to cut out this piece so I don't waste all of the vinyl. This is what we're weeding, and this is what we're saving for later. I always start in the upper left corner and then just peel it out. Now that the machine is ready, let's make something. I'm going to show you how to use iron-on vinyl with your Cricut to make custom shirts. I'm using a sweatshirt, but you can use tees, pillowcases, towels, whatever fabric you want. You'll need heat transfer vinyl. I love Sizer Easy Weed brand, a standard grip mat, a vinyl trimmer or scissors, weeding tools, a lint roller, and a Teflon sheet. And a heat press like this HTVRont Easy Heat Press 2. Since we're making a shirt, we can click on New Project and click on Iron-on Vinyl T-shirt. And this is neat because it brings up a sizing guide. So this will help us determine how big we want to make our design. And this is set for an adult medium shirt. I'm not sure if there's a way to change the size of the shirt. I've tried clicking around and I couldn't figure out a way to change the size. Do you guys know if there's a way? Let me know in the comments. So the next thing that we need to do is import our design into Cricut Design Space. But first I need to get it from Creative Fabrica. If you've been on my channel a while, you know that Creative Fabrica is where I get pretty much 99% of my fonts and designs. They have everything that I ever need. And it's cheaper than Cricut Access. It's only $3.99 a month. Bill is $47 for the year. You get that discounted price forever. There's millions of graphics, fonts, classes, and you get commercial, personal, and print-on-demand use, which is important if you want to sell your designs. So I'm going to go over to my favorites because I favorited this design and scroll forever until I find the one that I want. I have 926 files in my favorites. All right, here we go. Varsity Mama. So since I have that all-access subscription, all I have to do is click on the big green download button. If you don't have a subscription, you may have to pay for this file. I think if I open this up in a different browser, it will show me how much it costs. All right, yeah, so this one's only $1.60 right now, and you can download it for free if you have the All Access subscription. So their prices are reasonable if you only need 1 or 2 designs, or you can pay $3.99 a month and get unlimited designs. Kind of a no-brainer for me. So click download, open up the file. I always look for the SVG. Usually it says something like this, Microsoft Edge HTML document, or it will say SVG. So double click it. That's the one I want. So right click and save as, and save this file somewhere on your computer. I usually create a new folder for every project that I make, and then click save. Now we can move back to Cricut Design Space, and we're going to click on upload. I already have it uploaded here, but I'll show you the whole process. Click upload image, browse, find that file you just saved, and click open. Then click continue. Since this is an SVG, Design Space automatically removes the background. That's why it's got that checkered look. So we don't have to do anything else. Just click upload. And now it's right here on our canvas. So I'm going to use the double arrows in the corner to shrink the design down and drag it over. Oops. If you accidentally do something you don't want to do, you can click Control Z. That's the oops button, and that will undo what you just did. And if you can't remember that, these arrows are undo and redo also. I'm going to zoom in so I can see better. Now I want to break up this design because I don't want to have 2025. I want to have 2022. So this is the ungroup button right here. It looks like 2 squares. So click that. And this breaks up the whole design. So I want to select just the 5 and delete it. And then I'm going to click on a 2. And I'm going to copy and paste it. So now I have 2022. Now I want my whole design to be cut out as one piece, so I have to weld it all together. I'll show you what happens if you don't do that. So if you click on make, do I want to save my project? Sure. So if you don't weld your design together or unite it, this is how it will be cut out. Each letter will be cut out individually, and you would have to like piece it together like stickers. You don't want to do that. So click on cancel. Now we're gonna highlight. I'm trying to select the design, but it's selecting the guide. I don't want that. So what I can do is temporarily turn off this guide by clicking here and clicking the I button, and that will make the guide go away. When I want to bring the guide back, I can just click on this. So we're going to hide it for a second, highlight this whole design, and then go down to combine. Now you can either weld it or unite it. Both of these things do the same thing. The only difference is weld is permanent and can't be undone, and unite can be undone. I like to do unite versus weld because it's nice to have the option to be able to undo it later. But if you know you're never going to change your design after this, I guess you can weld it. Really doesn't make a difference. The next thing that I need to do is figure out how big I want to make this design. So I can bring this guide back. And when you click on your design, it gives you the dimensions. So right now the design is 10.71 inches by 2.58 inches. The next thing that you need to do is figure out how big to make your design. I like to do that by first measuring my shirt with a ruler and then cross-referencing that with a t-shirt decal size guide. To make your life even easier, I went ahead and made a t-shirt decal size guide cheat sheet that you can download on my website and either save it to your computer or print it out and hang it up in your craft room. You can also go to my blog at kerricraftsit.com and read up on an article about what size decal for a shirt. It goes over tons of helpful tips like how to center your design and alternative methods like using a t-shirt ruler guide that you can either buy on Amazon or download from Creative Fabrica, plus a whole bunch more. The shirt that I'm making today is a woman's large, so according to this decal size guide, my shirt should be between 10 and 11 inches. So in Design Space, I can resize this to be about 11 inches. Now my design is ready to go. Let's go ahead and make our shirt. So we're going to go up here and click Make. Now it's asking, how will you load all of your materials for this project? Are we doing it without a mat for smart materials only or on a mat? I'm going to use a mat because I'm not using Smart Iron-On vinyl. I'm using Sizer Easy Weed heat transfer vinyl, and the mat size I'm using is a 12 by 12 inch mat. I'm going to ask it to remember this selection because I usually use it on a mat that's 12 by 12 inches. then click Confirm. You'll see over here there's a little toggle button where you can mirror your image. Whenever you're working with heat transfer vinyl, you always want to mirror it, which means flip it backwards. And that's so that when you heat press it onto the shirt, it shows up in the correct orientation. In the past, you used to have to toggle it here, but now Design Space has an auto mirror feature, so you don't have to do that. It does it automatically when you select a heat transfer material. So if we click Continue, it'll bring us to the next screen. Then it connected to the Maker 4 via Bluetooth automatically. And this is where we select our material. So we're going to be using Everyday Iron-On. And when we selected that, it automatically toggled the mirror on. That's a great feature that they added, so you never heat press your design backwards. Next, I'm going to cut out a piece of heat transfer vinyl that's about 12 inches long by a little over 3 inches wide. Grab a brayer tool and smooth it flat. And I'm going to let the rest of this just hang out here until I'm done cutting. Now you're going to take your mat and slide it under the 2 guide tabs and press the blinking double arrow to load it. Now I'm going to take my weeding tool and weed the design. So start in the upper corner and just start pulling back. Once we've got everything cut and weeded, it's time to heat press the design onto the sweatshirt. For that, we're heading downstairs to my brand new Kerri Crafts It Laser Lounge. This is my basement craft studio, and I finally have room to breathe. This craft room is tiny and overflowing with machines and supplies, especially after collecting a bunch of large laser engravers and printers over the years. So we turned my basement into my dream workspace, and I got lucky during Joann's going out of business sale. I found these massive 13-foot shelving units for only $100 each. They came apart super easily, and they're sturdy enough to hold everything. You can see I have a lot of work to do. It's kind of a mess down here, but it's a solid start. I have a nice 13-foot storage rack, and I'm slowly filling it up with all of my big, heavy machinery from upstairs. So I moved my favorite heat press down here, my HTVRont Auto Heat Press 2. I'm going to plug it in and we're going to heat press this shirt. If you want to see my goal for this room, I'm going to be adding another panel here in another section of this storage rack. So I'll have 4 total sections. And I'm going to put another one of these wall panels like right here. And then in this corner, I'm probably going to be putting my old dining room table. And I love it because it's got this little spinny thing. So when I want to show you guys a nice 360-degree view of my stuff, I can spin it on my Lazy Susan. I'm planning to have another table right here so I can do crafts and show you guys, and then have all of the stuff behind me. I need a floor. I need a ceiling. But I'm so excited, and I also want some kind of column pole. I wish I could get rid of that, but, you know, it kind of holds up the house. But this is so exciting. I can't wait to move my stuff down here. Let me know if there's anything you want to see more of in a future video. Want a full behind-the-scenes tour? Let me know in the comments. I'm using the HTVRont Auto Heat Press 2, which is beginner-friendly and easy to use. Well, let's turn the machine on. We're going to set it to 305, so click the temperature and lower it. And then for 15 seconds. Oops, that's pressure. We're doing time and then 15. While we wait for that to heat up, I'm going to pull the drawer out, lay the shirt down, and clean it. Grab a piece of Teflon sheet, cover your shirt. You can see the machine is all the way heated up, so I can slide the drawer in and press start. You can see it counts down automatically, and right now we're just removing any moisture and wrinkles from the shirt. Pull the tray back out, and now we can place our design. Now you want your design to be about 3 inches below the neckline. So I'm going to move it down a bit. So I moved it down to 3 inches. Let's cover it with the Teflon sheet. Slide the drawer in and press. Now I'm going to let it cool down and then peel it. And just like that, a custom Mother's Day sweatshirt. Cute, easy, and ready to gift. So, should you get the Cricut Maker 4? If this is your first Cricut, yes, it's the best. If you're using an older machine like the Maker or Explore Air 2, it's totally worth the upgrade. But if you already have the Cricut Maker 3, you're totally fine to wait unless speed really matters to you, since they're basically the same, it's just faster. Want to learn even more? Be sure to pre-order my new book, Cricut for Dummies. It's packed with step-by-step tips and easy projects to help you master your Cricut. You can pre-order it now from Amazon, Target, Barnes & Noble, Walmart, wherever you like to shop. And don't forget to visit my blog, kerricraftsit.com, for even more tutorials, tips, and inspiration. If you want to see more tutorials, unboxing, and Cricut project ideas, I've got a whole playlist ready for you. I'll link it right here on the screen and down in the description too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.